Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Moonrakers. Moonrakers is published by IV Games and is a 1 to 5 player game. 3 to 5 if you're not playing the solo version of the game. This game here plays really quickly. It is a great negotiation style game, and you're trying to be the first person to 10 prestige. So let's go ahead down to the table here. I'll give you a general overview of how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so this game here is Moonrakers. It plays 1 to 5 players. So there's a solo mode. However, 3 players is what you want for any multiplayer mode, up to 5. Each player is going to get this really cool shipboard here, and they're going to get 2 coins. They're going to get 10 cards. They're going to get 2 objective cards, and they'll get a handy-dandy reference sheet. Now, on the bottom of every player board, it shows what you're going to get to start the game. So you'll get 3 energy, 2 thrusters, 2 shields, 2 damage, and 1 miss. And you'll put those in a deck, shuffle them up, and draw 5 cards. After you pick the starting player, players are going to take turns throughout the game trying to complete contracts and objectives to get prestige points. And your goal is to be the first to 10 prestige points. So this is going to be a little bit of a race style game. And you'll move your ship up or down while you gain or lose prestige points. So how do you gain or lose prestige points? How do you win the game? Well, let's go into what you're going to do on your turn. On your turn, you're either going to pick one of 2 things. You're going to do option 1, which is going to try to complete one of these contracts here, or you're going to stay at the base. Either way, when you pick 1 or 2, you'll be able to purchase. Now, let's go over first with completing a contract, because that's pretty much the meat of the game. You can try to complete a contract solo if you want, but these contracts are extremely hard and very unlikely that you can complete a contract on your own. I'll show you how that works in a second. When you pick a contract, so you're going to pick one of these in here, what they simply mean, so if you boil these down, and I could tell you one thing, the iconography on this game is amazing. They did such a great job on iconography. Really, a lot of games need to pay attention to this, because not only is it a specific icon, but it is a specific color that is prominent on everything that shows you exactly what it is. So, like at a distance, if you don't even know what those crew members are, you know what they can do, because green is shields, orange is damage, yellow is thrusters. So they do something in that area. Same with the ship parts. Every color matches the symbol, which is amazing. I think is really, really good. So how do you complete a contract? Well, contracts completions requirements are down on the bottom. So you're going to have some number of one of the 5 different things, 4 different things. So here you're going to need 3 thrusters and 1 damage. Also, if you notice over here with the exclamation mark, that is how many of these dice that you have to roll. So here it has 2 pips, so you have to roll 2. And when you're rolling these dice, you don't want these red exclamations. If you get these red exclamations, that is how much prestige points that you will lose. And it has 3 different options on these dice. It has the, get that in focus there. It has the 1, it has the 2, and then it has a blank side. So what you're going to do is say, hey, I want to do this contract here. This one has 5 thrusters and 3 shields, but it takes 3 damage. So I'm going to look at the rewards at the top. This means that I'll get 3 prestige points and 7 credits. There is another one here that has a 1 on it, that is either, and that's draw a card, and you can draw from the crew or the parts deck, which the parts deck is upside down. It needs to be like that. Sorry. So if you draw from the parts deck or the crew deck, you draw from the top of the deck. You won't be able to pick what you want, but it's still really cool. So let's say I want to complete this contract. I would invite people, and what I could do is I can give rewards and divvy up the rewards on the card itself. I can't do any other resource in the game. And that would include these and the Bane. So I could say, hey, if player A and B wants to join me, I'll give you 1 prestige and let's say 2 credits, but you have to take one of the die and roll it. And you could divide that up and negotiate around. Once everyone agrees, the players will all play their cards and either go with the mission, help the mission, or not. They don't have to tell the truth about being able to help, but they can't tell you what they're actually going to be able to do. So someone could join up just to cause trouble. But in general, so let's say everyone's going to roll 1 hazard die, and you're going to do that first. So I'll roll my hazard die, and look, I got a hazard. And everyone else rolled theirs because I had 2 other players, and they all picked one to get 1 prestige, some credits, and roll hazard die. So what does that mean? Well, I'm trying to complete this contract, which takes 3 energy and 2 shields. I'm going to let the opponents go first, I'm the active player, so I pick the order. So I'll say player A, play your cards, player B, play your cards, and then I see what's left, and I try to complete that. Now, these cards here, you only can play 1 card. However, if you look at Reactor, when you play Reactor, it gives you +2 actions. So I take my 1 action, I get 2 more actions. I could say, well, I really need to get that shield out, and I need 2 shields. I could just finish it. So if I did that, I put the 2 shields out. That was what's remaining for me. Everyone else played their thrusters. Life is good. And then that shield will negate that damage that I would, or loss of prestige I would get. However, not enough people played thrusters. So I say, oh no, what can I do? Well, this one blocks hazards. This one here causes damage. That's not any good right now. But this card here, thrusters, not on there, but it lets me draw 2 cards. So I can place this down. I will draw 2 cards. And I didn't do it. So if I failed the mission just ends. No one gets anything. But if I did do it, everyone will divvy up the rewards as we negotiated. Now, those are the types of cards. So these cards will basically are what you get to do to try to chain it up. Now, if I had a whole bunch of thrusters in my hand and a whole bunch of reactors in my hand and some thrusters, sometimes you can try to complete these on your own, but it's a little bit of a danger because you only really have 5 cards. Sometimes you might actually have the ability to do it, but in most of the time you can't. So you could have picked to do the contract on your own, or you will most likely try to get some help to complete it so you can get some of those nice rewards that are on it. All right, so now after that's all done, again, if you didn't have any, the subtraction of the prestige actually happens at the end, but you rolled first. So if I didn't have shields, I'd have to subtract the prestige. Now, the other option I could have picked was stay at base. If I stay at base, I gain a credit, so I just grab a credit. I can draw 2 objective cards and keep 1. We'll go over those in a second. And I can optionally discard one of the contracts on here and replace it. So if these contracts are all too tough, well, I could use that to try to lower them down a little bit so we can get some contracts going. Also, after you picked either option 1 or 2, you can purchase cards. When you purchase cards, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the card. So I'll show you one of each type here. And you're going to look at how much it costs here. So this is 3 credits. If I purchase a crew member, it goes in my discard pile. If I purchase a part, which is negative, this is 5 credits, it will go on my board. I could have up to at most 4 ship parts, but I can exchange them out if I want. Like I said, this is yellow, so this is going to be thrusters, so you could easily tell what it does. So thrusters are draw cards. This is draw 2 cards when you play your first damage card. So every time I play my first damage card, I'll get to draw 2 cards. Very, very powerful. All the ship parts are extremely powerful and really cool and help out in great ways. So the crew members are cards that I would play. This one here is going to be green, so you know it has to deal with shields. So instead of negating 1 damage, this guy's going to negate 2 hazards, or reduce the shield requirement by 2. So you can make a contract easier or protect from getting that hazard damage and losing prestige. So the crew members are very versatile, very powerful also, so you want to get those. After you finish your buy, you will discard your hand and draw up to 5 cards. That's a player's turn. You go round and round in turn order until someone gets the 10 prestige. Well, what is the other way you can get prestige? Well, you can get prestige from completing objective cards. Now, these objective cards you will keep secret, but once you complete them, you can flip one over and show everyone that you did. So this is pay no shield cards, but complete a contract with a rescue contract, which means it has shields in it. So if I played no shields, I got help on there, and I completed it, I could place this down and get my 1 prestige. They all have different sort of objectives in them, and you start out with 2 at the game, and as you notice, part of the stay at the base thing is you get more objectives. So there's a nice bonus to maybe not jumping on a contract, which can be really good, but getting an objective that could also help propel you forward. That, in a nutshell, is how you play Moonrakers. Now, there's a couple things that I wanted to show off with the game, and one thing I was super happy is, one is metal dice, or metal coins. These metal coins are amazing. I love them. I really wish more games came with metal dice. I know they're expensive, but they really add a lot to the game over those cardboard coins. So another thing that the game comes with is a really cool comic book that you can read. So it comes with a comic book. Also, the rule book is extremely well written. I really like that this is going to be the glossary, but like if you look at the beginning portion, it's really well laid out and explains the game really well. I really love how well they did that. I love the component quality of the game in general. It's great. I love the dice. I love the coins. I love these boards for the players. Card quality is great. Only thing I was a little iffy on is the little ships that come with it, but that's super nitpicky. They're okay. They work. They're great. All right. Other thing that I thought they did really well, and I'll say like 99.9% of the time when a company comes out with an insert for their game, it's horrible. However, they put a lot of thought into this. Everything fits perfectly. Well, I can only ever lay this flat. No, actually, the boards and the boards that hold the cards, when they come in, they'll actually fit perfectly in here, and they hold the components. So your smaller player boards go in here, and they'll fit flush with this. So they're going to hold your coins and your cards in place. Then you'll have your ships across here. And when you put the larger player boards on there, they hold the ships in place. And this comes up with the instruction stuff flush with the top of this box. So the lid fits on perfectly and keeps everything from moving. I don't know how they managed this engineering feat and did so well, but they did great. Also, they put nice little symbols in here to show where each of the cards go. So it's easy to put away and to put back out. So I wanted to mention that because they did such an awesome job with the insert. So let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I will give you my final thoughts on Moonrakers. Okay, I love Moonrakers. This is not even probably, my number one favorite negotiation deck building game. Just negotiation game in general even. Maybe Twilight Imperium might give it a run for its money for me, but it is an amazing negotiation game. They did it correctly. I really like how it looks like the contracts are simple to complete, but they're not, because you have to be able to chain your actions or do something to be able to push yourself to get that, but it's not easy, so you 99% of the time need help. So negotiation on the card resources themselves, simplify it, because you can't use outside resources. Like I can't say I'm going to pay you 5 credits to do this. You can gain X credits from this card if we complete it, or prestige or whatnot. But then also, are you going to take some threat? Are you going to have them roll some dice to get these prestige. What are you going to do to negotiate to be able to complete what you want of that card, and get their help and make sure that they actually help? So a lot of that. Also like the fact that you can't really say, you can say you're going to help, but you can't say how you're going to help. So I like that a lot. Like, you can't say how many of anything they have. They just say, I could probably help with you, and you go along with that. So the mission could still fail, even with the best intentions. Really like that. Also like the option of getting more objective cards by staying at the base, so you have more opportunity to try to sneak in those prestige points throughout the game. I love the iconography in the game. I think they did a wonderful, wonderful job. I like how they matched the iconography with the color, and the color is bold. I also like the fact that the different ship parts and the crews have background colors that match which icon they are helping in the game. So I like that a lot. So it's really easy just to glance and be like, hey, you know what? I need more thrusters, so I'm probably going to get that character. Or I need some benefit for doing thruster stuff. I'm going to look at the ship parts of that color. Really helps streamline it. Coins are awesome in the game. The player boards are awesome. Just overall amazing game. So if you like deck building games, you like negotiation games. If you like deck building games, but you're not too hot on the negotiation, I would still recommend trying Moonrakers, because this corrects a lot of what I think are issues with a lot of other negotiation games out there. This sort of streamlines it. It makes it straightforward and makes it tangible, what you're going to be doing and what in the game. So that's my thoughts on Moonrakers. Highly recommend giving it a shot, giving it a play, especially, like I said, if you like deck builders and or negotiation games. Thank you for watching.